this man here, let me first say this. Before I introduce him, this man here has not only distinguished history, but as I was saying when we had a guest here, epitomizes some of the things that we want to see in our public servants. You know how you see some philanthropists, some activists, and they always jumping on this bandwagon or that bandwagon. This brother's always out there, and he's unpretentious with it. And that's why I said, Brother Anton, we have to have you on. This is Anton Moore of Unity in the Community. See, I said your name, Sonia Jones, instantly said, oh, wow. I got to tell the listeners exactly who it is. Brother Anton Moore of Unity in the Community. Thanks for joining us. How are you today, my brother?
I can't complain, man. We're getting ready for this election, getting people out, getting them informed about the candidates that are running, just engaging the people on everyday issues.
Well, Anton, just tell us a little bit about yourself, and then I want to hear about the candidate that you're running.
I'm Anton Moore, top of the organization here in the community. I come from a radio background, first time in our hearts, and also I went to BET, worked there for 8 years in TV production, working on shows like the BET Awards, 106 Park Craft City, the newly elected war leader, and the 48th ward, we're trying to get the Democrats elected for this upcoming election. Tom Wolf, Senator Bob Casey, the White Evans, the whole game, because when you look at the Republicans are doing in Washington and then Pennsylvania in general, they're trying to turn things upside down for low-income people. So we need to make sure that we get people, out there to the polls and get them engaged in the issue. I would never tell somebody to vote. No, I want them to know why they should vote. You get what I'm saying? I want them to know that Donald Trump want to turn Medicare and Medicaid upside down. You know what I mean? I want to let them know that they want to live to retirement age. With a lot of people that come to the African community, they die at the age of 65 or 70. Not everybody, but they die before they time. So when you look at issues like that, you got to inform the people and let them know what's going on.
And you mentioned the candidate. Which candidate are you working with?
Well, as a Democratic war leader, we, Tom Wolf, Senator Bob Casey, the White Evans, those three candidates. Like, as being a part of the Democratic Party, it's my job to make sure that, people get out the vote and get engaged. Because if we get them out now, we can engage them and set them up for 2020 and get Trump out of there.
Now, Tom Wolf is in a race with, what is the gentleman's name?
Mr. Wagner.
I saw someone in the re-entry community. I saw a little promo ad that they did, and I was surprised that they were campaigning for Wagner. What could you say about Wagner?
The Wagner don't get two things about re-entry. You get what I'm saying? And then you can see Republicans don't get two things about re-entry. When it comes to ex-offenders finding work, or ex-offenders coming out and just making progress, they have no type of agenda for ex-offenders. You know what I'm saying? Even look at criminal justice reform in Pennsylvania and with Donald Trump. It's totally different from what he should be. If they want to deal with the idea of helping ex-offenders, then we can help them with people get the felonies off their record. And Donald Trump and them have no plan, and Wagner has no plan on trying to make that happen.
What plans do Tom Wolf have of doing something for that community and other communities, especially of inner city, urban Philadelphia people of color?
Well, Tom Wolf actually just passed a bill, maybe I think it was about maybe 2 months ago, that dealt with the issue of dealt with the issue of the ex-offender apply for jobs, but they can't look at their background. That's one of the things that Tom Wolf did, not for people with felonies, but misdemeanors. So if you've been home for 10, 15 years, your worker can't dictate if you get the job or not. So that's very important, because I have people that I help do employment clinics with who try to get jobs, but they're misdemeanors and I'm kept them from getting those jobs. So Governor Wolf started the law even deeper than that. Governor Wolf just signed a bill maybe a month ago that put $2 million towards gun violence, which is very important because I am passionate about that. So when you ask Scott Wagner about gun violence and what he's planning to do, he says, "Oh, we're going to look at that and we're going to try to get some people." You have to be specific about what you want to do. So we'll read that they all put forward. It's going to help a lot of people within community organizations to help with job readiness. But on top of that, let me mention this as well. I work with the Wolfpack MS administration would cover African-American jobs. So I would contact this office, and they would send me a list of jobs that hire people with felons, and I would follow up with them, and in some cases, it helped out a lot of young people.
Mm-hmm. And Anton, you were one of the people, and I mean, let me just say this: you just took a truck where was you just drove a truck of relief supplies to. Tell us about that.
To New Bern, North Carolina, there's a lot of residents who are hit hard in African American area in New Bern, and they were suffering. They didn't have renter's insurance, so by them not having renter's insurance, some of them couldn't get help from FEMA. So we packed up a truck, we held a drive here in Philadelphia and drove it down to New Bern and dispersed all the stuff out to the residents that were down there. And if you heard some of their stories, man, it was tough, man. Some of the stories I hear in Philadelphia, where people are suffering, can't find a job here, they lost everything in the storm, and we went down there and really helped them. When we did this, and we did the same thing 2 years ago. We went down and distributed that one along with some goods as well. You know, when you look at people that are dealing with poverty, you know, you always want to be there. I don't care if you're in Philadelphia, Jersey, New York, you know, it's like an each one teach one, and you lend the helping hand out to people.
Anton, I remember the previous relief efforts you led, because I wanted to go along with you and record it and take it, but I couldn't get away for that long. But I really wanted to go because I wanted to be a part of that experience. But why do you do what you do? You're a young man. You could do almost anything. You had a career in media. You could have did anything you wanted. What made you gravitate towards doing what you're doing now for the community?
From media to
well, when you come from the bottom, and you grew up in poverty, and your father was ex-offender, and you come from the housing project in South Philadelphia, Texas, you know what it is. You know what it's like to be at the bottom. So when you see people struggling, trying to make a way, you know, you being in that familiar territory, you know where they're coming from. So it's like it's not second nature. You reach out to them and help them. So I look at it like, look, these people are just like me, and I don't believe in using the word of give it back. I think that's a strange, harsh word. I believe in lending the helping hand, because when you say you're giving back, that means you're doing better than someone, and you're not doing better than someone, because we're all the same. So when I look at that, I believe that, you know, lending the helping hand, and because we all come from the same place.
Mm-hmm. You know, one of the things that, and you are a Democratic ward leader, am I correct?
Yeah.
Now, as ward leader, one of the voting is a contentious issue. It's like you say vote, you would think that black people would automatically know the power of voting, but there are some, and we were talking about this with our previous guests. There are some people who opted out of the system. They just don't want anything to do with it. They see both parties as oppressive. You have some people that have decided to vote for the Republican and some for the Democratic Party. What would you say to those who just believe that for the last, you know, and especially in Philadelphia, we have so many Democratic leaders and they don't see the advances, they see no change? What would you say to them?
I would say, look, vote for who has the best interest, you know, when it comes to your little being. Because kids, I mean, this family, I mean, you have to do what works for you. So I look at all this, and I'm not one of you to say, oh, just vote just to go vote. No, dude, vote for the person that's going to help you out. I would love to tell somebody, oh, just vote for a Democrat, but I would be doing them a disservice, because you're supposed to educate people. Yes. Because I'm telling you like this, if there's a Democrat in office that's not doing anything, and that's continuing to contribute to the poverty rate here in Philadelphia, we need to vote them out. If I knew that a Republican was going to help my community more than a Democrat, I would like to vote for the Republican, because it's the right thing to do when we talk to the people, and it will benefit the people as well.
Mm-hmm. Do you see changes on the horizon? Because, you know, I'm born and raised in Philadelphia. You know, I've lived in other places, but born and raised in Philadelphia, down the bottom in West Philadelphia. You know, I've seen some progress in some very key areas, but Philadelphia is still steep in deep poverty. Our neighborhoods are still declining. You see any changes?
You haven't seen progress for black people. And that's one of the things I'm upset with. I think that we need to come up with a concrete agenda to address poverty for African Americans in Philadelphia. We need to go to the hardest hit areas where the poverty rate is high and put together a plan and a solution to address that, like job readiness, like substance abuse, people suffer with drugs, like extra offenders that are coming home. We need to make sure they make a living wage so that when they can go out, they can be able to take care of their family and do the nice things that other people do. So that's a couple of things. Also, we need to look at the housing market. The housing market is bad.
It's crazy.
You have banks not lending, which is bullcrap. So we have to look at all those things regarding how can we help the neighborhood. Because Philadelphia can't be a great city if people are struggling and physical medicine.
Let me ask you something, Tom, because you said that we have to hit, those impoverished communities, and basically get people to go into there and pour some resources into those communities. But don't you think that is some of those communities that need to speak up and speak out, because some of them have become accustomed to what is being trickled down. I'm looking at 3 generations living in the same, like they're doing the same thing their mother and their grandparents have done, and they're just repeating the same cycle. And it just seems like, okay, well, my mother, have been on welfare. It's cool. I'm gonna have my child. We're gonna be on welfare, and my child. And no one seems to want to break the cycle. And then you look at people that want to come out and help, and the first thing they say was, "Well, they don't look like they want any help." So I'll just leave them alone.
That's what do you say about that? Because I personally experienced that, especially with community cleanups. When you have community cleanups and the people actually doing the cleanups in the alleys and on the streets. Maybe a handful of local residents, and the rest are outside volunteers. What could you say about that lack of participation in our own elevation on the ground?
You got to look at leadership. Your leadership will take you in and do what needs to be done to help that community. It's almost like a people are drowning. There's some people who recognize, what the hope looks like if they've never seen it come in their community. You feel what I'm saying? Even with elected officials, you see them during election season, and they disappear, on off season. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And what you have to do is you need to go into those neighborhoods, see what they need, and build a relationship with them. And once you build a relationship with them, you can get the proper resources needed. No, you're going to have some people who are, who just stuck in their ways. You get what I'm saying? But it's like a block of ice. You got to keep chopping at that block of ice, and eventually it's going to break. I work with ex-offenders all the time. I help young people get resonated and help them get a job. But I don't just stop them and help them get a job. I continue to encourage them so that they know it's going to be tough days, but you have to embrace the struggle and believe that tomorrow is going to be better than today. So when you look at that, you look at people that are struggling and been doing it for generations, you understand that's the answer to the question. They've been doing it for a long time. So if you being, ambitious and giving them hope, they'll see that and say, you know what, I think I do need to make a change. And that gives them hope. If you look at it, if it's 10 people and you help 4 or 5, then bam, your job is done. But also too, we can't get caught up in saying, oh, we need to fix this now. We have to think about the future now. The young kids that are coming up. We need to give them hope as well. Like the issue of gun violence, people are saying, how can we stop the shooters now? Yes, we have to look at how can we stop the shooters now. Also, let's look at poverty, but also let's look at the young people that are coming up. You get what I'm saying? I see some people complain on social media, oh, nothing is being done, this is never going to end. Yeah, it's never going to end if you keep saying that. But if you look at the bigger picture and you continue to do the great work, I promise you good things will come.
Mm-hmm. Now, as far as the black leadership, and you mentioned black leadership actually leading us into the change that we desire, and it's funny you should say about think the future, because Sonia was just saying think long term, how she should teach her children that in a very practical way. But we've had black leadership in Philadelphia. Other cities in the nation may not be as fortunate, but we've had black mayors, we've had black police commissioners, we had black everything. I mean, we've been inundated we've flooded this city with blackness in political office. Why aren't we seeing the change? What has to happen among our black leaders so that we can get them to lead to change?
Like you said, people got challenged. You can't be a turkey and hot dog leader where you just want that.
Say that again.
Say that again, Anti. Say that again.
You gotta want more. I mean, with the next people, we're gonna talk about economics with young people, with small business owners like African Americans. How can we invest in these African American small business, but also too, how can we work with the young people within our community that they get the same job that they're getting out working, the same job that they get out sectors. Those are the things we need to talk about, need to address. Marching and rallying and meeting, that's all good. So I think it's important that this stuff are happening, and we need to talk about economic development for African Americans.
Yeah.
What would you do if it was in your hands? If you could get all of the black officials, leaders, and I'm talking about not just those and not just elected officials, but those who are activists and community advocates like yourself. If you can get us all into a room and give us a charge as to what to do, what would you say?
I would tell them to look at the neighborhoods in front of you, find out the poverty rate. At 7 or 8 o'clock, go into those neighborhoods and go knock on the doors and talk to those residents. See what they're going through, listen to them. And when you listen to them, they tell you what's the way in their neighborhood, go back to your offices, strike a job, and then go get the resources that's needed and go back out into those neighborhoods and execute the plan.
But isn't that what they quote unquote do already? I'm sorry. Come election time, and then because they come out with this clipboard and this check, and they take their checklist, and then I got you. When I get in office, I got you. You got me, you got me not getting me to get what you said you were going to do. But it's sad that, because we actually talked about this, and it's kind of sad that we only see you come election time. We hear all your spoken promises, and then because that becomes very discouraging for people to want to vote. The first thing they say is, because I keep hearing you, what they do is put all the politicians in the same pot and they say the same thing. Oh, y'all ain't do nothing for me. You saying the same thing the other politicians said. You just, rephrasing it.
That's why I say
you're making it look, you're packaging it real good, but once I open it up, it still stinks and it still looks the same, dirty.
That's why I say the people who don't vote have voted by not voting.
Right, by not voting. And then you get upset when the person you didn't want in office gets in the office.
Mm-hmm. What do you say about that, Eddie?
And we got to get into this is not in Philadelphia. This is what Philadelphia hurts itself. Mm-hmm. We got to go in these neighborhoods and make leaders and create leaders as well. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if you're able to go in there and create leaders and strong leaders, you can pay it forward, create those strong leaders, and those leaders will help hold those elected officials accountable as well. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because a lot of times we do let them fly by and they come in there with their fancy talk, and soon when election time is over, they give you hot dogs and hamburgers.
Mm-hmm. And hold some great events, though. They hold some great festivals.
They give you crumbs. And that's what
they give you crumbs.
Yeah, they give you crumbs.
We don't talk about economic development. We don't talk about building black businesses. We don't talk about bringing them jobs and getting job ready. I went out Wilson Park. It's one of the highest poverty rates. Highest communities in South Philadelphia. The high poverty rate. I found that they didn't have computers that was functioning enough to help people out. I went to Comcast and said, "Look, Comcast, I have a community like Wilson Park that needs computers." 3 weeks later, we put a brand new computer lab out Wilson Park. Mm-hmm. We were able to come in, fill out for a guide, learn how to use computers. Kids coming in and do their homework. That might be small to a lot of people. That's big to me because if you look at it, just imagine if people can't go in that center to go and fill out for a job or learn how to use computers. That's important. Just imagine if kids can go there and learn how to do their homework. Then some kids will be left behind because you have other kids that are well advanced than what they are. Mm-hmm. So you look at those things and you have to implement those things and say, this is what we need. Mm-hmm. I think that, politicians prey on weak-minded people.
Yes.
And what happens is you have a lot of people that fall prey to that and end up just falling in line without demanding things. You have to demand things. You have to go to the mayor, your state rep, and your councilman and say, this is what we want for us. And or else we're going to vote you out.
Mm-hmm. And that means we got, and like you said, falling in love. And that means we got to stop because somebody kissed our babies, because somebody's come to all of our events and shake hands and then fade to black.
No, I like the ones that they host the events. You know, bring them big time celebrities in.
Exactly.
Because
your city's starving, but you got Big Willie.
You know, and then at the end of the day, they go back home with our money. And we're left with some chips.
Well, they get corporate sponsors and stuff for that, yeah. But but they still leave the people with a smile on their face for about 30 seconds, and then going back to a city that's rife with deep poverty.
Yep, still needs some repairing. School system sucks, and I'm watching the news today, and they were saying that 2 Philadelphia schools were closed because of heat. Like seriously, over the summertime, so the schools are closed.
Mm-hmm. So when are you running for office, Brother Anton?
I need to know.
Oh man, I don't think I am, man. I like this advocacy work, man. I think the system is just messed up. So you know what? Let me rephrase that. And like President said this better. In order to change the system, you gotta change it from the inside. You get what I'm saying?
I've never seen that happen.
No, it's supposed to be.
Who knows the future holds? It's going to be an interesting 2019. I think.
Hey, Anton, I was just telling Sonia before you got on the phone, we was discussing earlier. I said most people who run for office, and I know almost all of them. I mean, my cell phone have almost all of their cell numbers in it, et cetera. I know them all. And some of them, they do some really good work. I haven't seen the work change anything really substantive, but they do a lot of good work. I think they're generally concerned about the people, but they all go in with, when they're running, and I interview them for one of the papers, they all say that I'm running so that I can change the nature of politics. I've never seen that happen. Time after time again, what I have seen happen, as I was telling Sonia, is the politics have changed them. What can we do to prevent that from happening, in your opinion?
You can prevent that happening. It's all about, we don't research. We get caught up with what people say, and we don't research their work. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes what looks good may not be good.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you have to go to the neighborhood. I'm going to tell you something. And I'm going to listen to you how you go. Listen to clearly. When someone tells you that they're running for office, what I want y'all to do is to go into those communities and talk to their neighbors and see if they're going to get work done in their community. If they're not getting work done in their community, it's full of it, and they just closely get their community.
Yeah, I do
Good
my
point.
lives about this, and I tell people, I tell them pretty much everything we're telling, that we're discussing. Stop voting for these people just because.
Because you like them, they're nice.
Just because, they paid some bail. Just because they got my son off of this charge. Just because they gave us this community. Because at the end of the day, when grandma's monthly check comes and she has to pay her rent, buy food, pay the utilities, we've already established she has more than one, she needs more than one type of medications. What are they, 300 a pop? So, okay, and at the end of the day, just because it's not doing her no justice because she's still struggling. You giving us these crumbs and people taking it back like, oh my gosh, and I'm gonna vote for it, but they didn't do anything. Your community is still impoverished, the crime rate is still high, the children are still illiterate, they're not being properly educated, the lack of funding. Again, these 2 schools that had closed because of the lack of heat. These shootings are just ridiculous. The police violence, against us, this black on black, just everything that's going on is not changing based off you voting for somebody just because. And I've already said that, before they start hitting your doorways and stuff, you need to start scheduling some meeting. I need to know more about you. I need to set up an appointment, because you got to remember, you want my vote.
Don't even set up a meeting. Because you go into their neighborhood where they live at.
I agree.
If you go in there and talk to some neighbors, they don't know who they are, then you don't need to be voting for them.
Right. Because
in the meetings they're gonna say all of the right things. Trust me. But when you see them out there, if you don't see them I'm not gonna say any names. I remember I was covering this, because sometimes they'll send me a text and say I'm doing this and I'm doing that. Can you be out there? And I'll go out there for one of the local papers. And one time I was out for more than one time for a community cleanup, and I seen the person who was in office. I'm not going to say what office or what person, but this has happened several times. And I go there with my camera and I interview the people and et cetera. And that person show up for the pictures and never picked up a broom. never picked up a broom and left after I interviewed him. Shook a few hands after I interviewed him and left. And I've seen that time and time again.
Yeah, I've heard stories. Well, I've never name dropped, and I'm not going to. But I've spoke with someone who works out in the community heavily and works for an elected official, and he came to me and name dropped and was like, "I'm just so disgusted with this person because they had an event, one of these cleanup events. They said this person came caravan with their group of people, came out, put their shirts on, grabbed the tools and everything, took some photos and left. So when the photos posted, it came across like, yo, oh my gosh, they did some stuff in the community. They did some stuff. They came in, grabbed it, did a photo, and they left.
And this is the thing, to back up what she's saying, I actually had to get this person to hold the broom and to stand there, the bags that was collected by some a lot of times volunteered outside the community, and to pose a picture like they were working. I kind of contrived. But that's what we're looking at. Anton, talk to us, brother. What can we do?
Stop playing games with
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it is.
Oh, I like that. Stop playing games with suckers.
That's what they
I
are.
don't really care about, the camera out there, they not there. You got to get to the point where you really love people. Right? You ready to lay it all down on the line because of your love for people. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I look at it. And you can tell the difference. And I'll say this again. If people tell you that they want to help change your community, go look in their neighborhood and go to about 40 or 50 stores.
Right.
And then now get the minute. If you talk to 50 people and none of them 50 people know them, then they playing games.
I can't vote for you. Your neighbors don't know you, so why should I? Like, seriously, these are the people that you come home and you leave. There should be some form of communication. Hey, I should at least know, if not first, last name. I should know how many people come in and out your house. You know what? I may not know exactly where you work, but I know your schedule. I know what time the lights come on. I know because this is the community. If I don't know
more than that, I want to see you having done something in that neighborhood, like not just say, "Oh, I know so and so, they live right there." No, what have they done? Have they organized
something? Say, yo, he helped me get a job, or he helped my kids go to college. You can like, you know what? They need somebody to give me that education, right? Because you're doing this without even getting a dollar. But man, don't tell me you when you get a dollar, right?
And
that's how you gotta look at it. So when you get candidates, you need to ask them this question. You're running for office, what area do you live in? Matter of fact, send me a picture of you. Go out, talk to 40 people, and say, well, if you live in your neighborhood, we talk to 40 people. No one knows you.
And I don't know you either.
And see what they have to say. And I bet they say, oh, well, I just, that's how you do it. Because how you want to take a system of Philadelphia, but you're not taking the thing you need.
Right.
And Terry, we're talking about, and for good obvious reasons, because this is an election season. So it's important that we talk about politics. It's important that we talk about politicians. But there is also a role for people, everyday residents in the community, because the crime, the violence, the poverty is not only, there's a part that government plays in the solution, but there's a part that everyday residents play.
Yes,
talk to me about that part that we can play on our own elevation.
That part that we can play that starts at home. Raise your damn kids. You lay down and have sex and brought those kids in the world raising them. You got kids out here that's raising hell, out here killing people, and the parents are just complete at the will. That's unacceptable. That means you brought a child in this world to just destruct this world. We need to do a better job at parenting. We need to take self-accountability and say, you know what? I need to raise my child right because I want to be a productive citizen. So when I look at that, we do as residents and as a community, we have to take responsibility. When I look at these kids out here shooting and killing people, I say to myself, who raised them?
No.
My mom smacked me in my face in front of everybody. She's going to put in my butt in front of everybody.
Now let me say this, because when I was in Delaware, when I was in Delaware, a young man, I'm going to say young man, pastor there, a very well-known pastor in Delaware, was running for convicted felon, came out and everything, and he decided he wanted to run for mayor. Found out in the game that he couldn't because he had a felony record. So now he's hosting his television show, and he gets on there, and what happened was there was a young lady who, her son, had gotten into some trouble. Now she works at night, so he had gotten into some trouble. I'm not sure if how she handled it, and it was, cool. So now what happened was he got back in trouble again. And I'm reading the comments because, somebody had put it out there as this pastor was talking about it. And what they did was they drug her. So because I really didn't know too much about her, let me just flip some sides. And I'm all for parents taking care of their children. But in her defense, I said, don't attack anyone unless you are sure that, now what they were saying was that she didn't do, what she was supposed to have done. How do we know? Do you know for a fact that, hey, maybe she didn't discipline her child the first time? Because here's my thing. I don't know my child once my child goes outside. I have to take for granted, I have to assume that whatever I instilled in my child, they are taking it out into the community. Because once they get outside in the community, sometimes they just want to be a part of it. I don't want to feel left out. I don't want to be teased or mocked. So, let me just try to fit in. That doesn't make you a bad parent. Because your child just says, hey, I want to go against the grain, against my parent and where they raised me. I just don't want to be bullied or teased or mocked. I want to fit in. I don't lose my friends.
What do you think about that, Anton?
You're going to find situations where, a parent is being a parent, their kids just doing what they want to do. But you're not going to see that a lot. I tell you that if you raise your child up with principles and guide them in the right direction and stuff like that, yes, they may veer off, but I'm telling you right now, they're not going to be out there shooting anyone. And I look at that because I see the guys I was raised with. Like, my mom raised me. My mom was in a single-parent house. I was in a single-parent household, and my dad was in and out of jail. But my mom kept a hold on me. She taught me how to love people. You feel what I'm saying? And that's the problem, that you have people in this world that just don't love one another. And it starts at, I can't say this enough, it starts at home. A lot of the stuff you see today is learned behavior. I was in a school today, and a kid said, fuck you in the class. I had a teacher talking to the parent, and when the teacher walked away, the mother said to the child, and I know I can't let you watch Love and Hip Hop no more. That's learned behavior. You know what I'm saying? That's learned behavior. We have to take responsibility for the things that our kids do.
I used to work with kids. I was still writing, but I used to work with kids, and I don't know how this happened, but for years. And a lot of them were abused and neglected. And so there was one child that had autism, and the other kids used to tease him. So he became I called him my sidekick, my partner. And so he would stay with me. He would play with the other kids, but he would sometimes spaz out because the other kids couldn't relate to him, and he couldn't deal with the separation. But it got to the point where I became his emergency contact. And whenever he had an episode in class and they couldn't get the mother, there was no father. The father wasn't in his life. So they would call me, and I would talk to him the teacher would literally put him on the phone, and they're in class. And she would call me, and they would put him on the phone, and I'd talk to him and say, look, what was the right thing to do? What happened? What was the right thing to do? Apologize to the teacher. Let me tell you something. This child's demeanor, once he heard my voice on that phone, and I'm sure the same thing happened once he heard his mom's voice on that phone, totally changed. And he not only got in line, but you didn't get a phone call again that day. And that goes to say that we got to stop pretending we don't have influence on the behavior of our children. And I would go pick up his report card and the other report card of the kids. And next thing you know, the other kids in the neighborhood whose mother and father couldn't pick their report cards up on report card day, I'd end up going to their classes. Now, I got 7 or 8 kids. I have no children, no biological children. But I'm going to, and then I go back to their home and tell them what the teacher reported, etc. We do have an influence on their children's life, because once they know somebody's going to check on them, they get that call, they're going to straighten up.
Or as somebody said, they took out the big mama out of school, and it's kind of somewhere along the line. made it, they meaning, are like, I want to say, what is it?
System.
Yeah, the system. Came across, presented themselves. They packaged it very well and presented it to the families that, hey, you cannot physically touch your child. You cannot physically discipline your child. And that's a lie. You can, corporal punishment has not been taken away, but somehow parents
wasn't taken away in my home.
It somehow has been embedded in them that, hey, I can't discipline my child because if I do, no, you can't break skin. You can't leave a mark. But you can discipline your child. What happened was because they embedded it so much, now children have, in Kevin Hart's voice, they say it with the chest out. You know, you can't do because I'll call the cops. Well, here you go. Let me do you one favor. I'm going to dial 911 for you. I did that to my son. He said he's going to call the cops. Well, you ain't got to say no more. 911, they came to my house. So I used to tell my children when they was younger, this is what you can and cannot do, and they tried to use it against me, and I'm like, no, it's not going to work that way, because you can't outdo me. I'm doing within the law. The law said I'm supposed.
And plus, it's your house and your kids.
To provide your basic needs. If I go to Payless and buy you some $4.99 sneakers, that's your basic. No one said I had to go spend $200-$300 to get you some Nikes. If I go to Goodwill and buy you some clothes, that's what I'm only supposed to provide you with your basics. I make sure you eat, you clothe, you go to school.
Well, you ain't getting no Michael Jordan.
Well, you ain't getting no Michael Jordan. But what happens is someone said
but you'll go to college instead,
and they have watched other people become, in the system that, oh, I can't do that because I don't want to go to jail. But in the meantime, your children are running amok because you decided, I don't want to toggle the fence and I don't want to push the envelope. And now you're living in a house scared of your children.
It's scared of the system who will intervene when you try to discipline your children. But love circumvents all of that. I love you too much and care too much for your well-being to give a darn about what somebody's saying or about how you feeling. Because if I don't discipline you and you go out there, the world's going to be harder on you than anything I'm going to do to you. So because I love you, I'm preparing you for this world, and you're going to take this because you purposely violated the norms of safety or the principles of our home, and you did it purposely. Now, when you do something out of ignorance, I teach you and educate you. When you start doing it, you know what's right. You do it on purpose. You get chastised.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. You're right.
Yes.
Yeah. You guys are correct.
And go ahead, son. So as far as our children are concerned, one of the things I find is, because now I see people, they don't turn, like they'll listen to certain records with the F this, F that, B this, B that, slut this, that, and they'll listen to it in the presence. I hate that. In front of the children, with the children present. They don't change the stations. Like I used to have people, the kids used to ask me, Mr. Nate, can we play the radio in your car? Because I would like to drive it too. I drove it. And I said, sure, you know what, I don't want it in the car. You know what I want to hear. And then sure enough, that's what they turn to, and then they'll have a lyric on there that's a little X-rated, and I'll turn the radio off and say, what did they just say? And then they'll look at me with the sheepish look like they can't repeat it. And I'll say, that's why you can't. If you can't say to me what they just said, then it's not worth you. It's not something you should be listening to in the first place. And that's just the way I was with the kids. To this day, we cool. Anton, tell me about your role of discipline and people in the community, not just parents, but the adults in the community around the children.
You know what? I hold them accountable. You get what I'm saying? I make sure when I go talk to a kid, I make sure I talk to the parent because I want to know if a lot of this is learned behavior. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of times when I see a kid going through something, I like to talk to the parent as well and hold them accountable. You feel what I'm saying? Because in a lot of instances, the kids don't have a relationship with their parent. Even though they're mother and son, or son and mother, or daughter and mother, they may not have a relationship to talk. So sometimes I challenge the parent, have a conversation with your child. Tell your child that you love them. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, people behave anger and resentment and feel like their parents don't love them. And what their parents do is they struggle because they're living in deep poverty.
Right.
Yes.
And the other thing, I think, when you living in situations, because we came up, when I came up, we were poor, we were very poor, but the difference was, I think, was for me, was that we had a family and we had a community. You know, we had a community that reinforced what we didn't have financially and materially, and today, we live in what they call a do for self, all about me era. You know, where everything is about me. If it's not my kids and my house, you know, I can change a diaper or a pamper with one hand. I know how to, you know, I don't have any biological children, but I know how to change diapers. I know how to feed, how to prepare meals, and etc. because I had to do so for so many children, and that's because there were so many missing fathers or mothers who just couldn't handle the responsibility, and we had to step in. And what can we do to help prepare communities for the children, in your opinion, Anton, when the parents can't do it on their own?
It's good to be a mentor. Take one child. We can't save the world, but we can save the young men and women in our community. So if you live in a neighborhood and you know these kids are troublemakers in the neighborhood, step to the plate and take them under the wing to defend them. Like, for example, you look at the schools in our neighborhood, we know what schools are good and what schools are bad. When you go into those schools and you talk to the teachers, they'll tell you this child is problematic. Take the time out and work with that young man. You know, I worked with a young man for 2 or 3 years. This kid was better than what you just said. He was a rough kid. This kid is graduating high school, getting good grades now. It's not a one-day process. I think a lot of the young people in our neighborhood, they've been developed on all levels, meaning that you have what I call abracadabra men in their life. You know, 1 minute they disappear. We have to be on, especially young men, we have to be with these young people on a consistent basis, and just, you can't hang out with them, give them a call. You know what I mean? To see what they're up to. But they need to know that someone cares about them.
Right.
What do you have going on now, Anton? You always got something going on, and also he does a lot of community feedings. And I mean, he not only drives trucks distances I can't even imagine.
So we're doing one of the toughest neighborhoods in the community where a lot of shootings are taking place, which is Wilson Park. We're doing a New Jack Thanksgiving thing where we're working with the neighborhood and getting the resources together, but also feeding the community, which is November 17th. In addition to that, we're going to be taking some kids to Universal Soul Circus, buying them food and just having a good time with them. But my ultimate project that I am working on is my Way to Death documentary, which is a documentary about inner city gun violence that features Black Dolphin Root, who lost his father to gun violence, Meek Mill, who lost his father to gun violence. We're going to talk to funeral homes, we're going to talk to jail system, we're talking to Commissioner Ramsey, basketball players, and about cases, and we're actually going to be at actual funerals of kids who are victims of gun violence, and you're going to see what happens when someone is murdered in real time.
So now you say the circus, you know, for the youth. Like, how old do you have to be to be a youth? Because I'm young.
I knew it was getting there.
So I'm working with this kid named LGP Quad.
Okay.
Young rapper here was very positive, and we're going to surprise about 500 kids and take them to the Universal Soul Circuit. We're going to feed them and everything. Just give them a day, you know, to get out in the neighborhood and go and have a good time.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
And this is not unique. Anybody with no Anton know?
Yeah.
This is not unique for him. I mean, this man is the most active, the most progressive, the most down-to-earth community advocate I've ever seen. You know, Anton, if people wanted to know, you know, I mean, because there are people all over the city who they just need somebody or to be connected to resources and people who can help fill in, even if it's to tutor them, to mentor them, you know, to guide them in some way or another, or to help them in some way or another. How can they follow you? And
they can follow me, and I would say I'm serious about support. They can call me on my cell phone, 215-292-5081. Or if you don't want to call me, email me. Anton Moore, that's ANTONMOORE, the number 1 at gmail.com.
Get that number and the email one more time for me.
215-292-5081, or they can email me, Anton, ANTON, last name Moore, MOORE, the number 1 at gmail.com.
And you're also on Facebook
I'm on Facebook, Anton Moore. I'm on Instagram, Anton Moore 14, and Twitter, Anton Moore 1.
Cool. And unity in the community, how you doing with that? What's going on there?
Everything is good. That's what the feeding and taking care of the service we're doing that under the Unity and Community brand. And then we're giving up for our last event of the year, which is our Operation Holiday Health Initiative, where we surprise 5 families and take them, 5 families in their home and doing Christmas gifts. Last year we were able to help 5 additional families. We worked with the Philadelphia 76ers, and Ben Simmons was able to take 5 families from our community, take them to Target on the shopping spree for Christmas.
Anton, thank you very much for taking the time to call in, not only for taking the time to call in, but also for the work you do in the community, because we need fresh blood, we need genuine spirits out there, and I really appreciate you being one of them.
Thank you. And I appreciate y'all giving me the platform to actually talk about the work that we do here in Philadelphia.
Oh, this is just the beginning, Anton. Thank you again.
Oh, Anton, are you doing your Christmas event again?
He just said,
Yeah, because I got to hang out just a little bit. It was wow, it was very moving. Like literally. Yeah.
So we're looking forward to that. I keep you guys posted.
All right, I appreciate you, Anton. And when it comes to writing your book, look, I can write a little bit.
Well, if it comes to you,
if you do need you, let's talk.
Well,
give me a call.
Well, if it comes that you need another child for the circus, you give me a call.
All right, Anton, call me and I'll talk. Okay, you got it. Give me a call anytime.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Anton. That was a good brother right there. Let me tell you something. He's the real deal. He's the real. A lot of brothers who I met along the way, taking pictures and interviewing, etc. You know, I kind of don't mess with on that level because they're not. You can see through them. But this is the real deal.
Yeah.
So it was good to hear from him.
Yeah. So we had Keith James from Delaware. We had
young brother doing things.
Young guy changed the voting
voting age.
Voting age. No.
Not voting age. The age in which one could be elected mayor.
For mayor in Wilmington from 30 to 25. 25. He's actually 23. So okay.
So he still can't run yet, but he's
still can't. But I had let me tell you how real fast so we can get out. What happened was I had went on a mini vacation during the summer. This was a few years back, and what I did was I had Friday, and I came back to Wilmington. At that time I was in Wilmington. I came back to Wilmington that Sunday, but I didn't come back to my actual house until that Monday. So what happened was Sunday, a group of people decided they wanted to have a cookout. Very nice neighborhood, but you don't do that. So they went, put the trucks in the park. You don't do that. This is not the average park. So they put the trucks in the park, had the tent, everything all set out, and then someone decided to start shooting. So neighbors are calling the police, and what happened was, let's move forward. There was a big stink because now these people in this neighborhood don't play that. That's like Society Hill. We don't play that. So they called elected officials, went to the newspaper. We had a community meeting at the school up the street, P.S. DuPont. We get there, and Mr. James comes there, and the community's there, and they're saying, hey, we called the police several times. It took them quite a while to get here. You got to remember, these people take pride in the neighborhood. So what happened was these people that decided to have the shootout and the cookout didn't have a permit. So now the neighbors are concerned because you needed a permit. They didn't get one. How did that happen? Don't know. Moving forward, Mr. James gets up and he starts talking, and he's telling us, about his addiction, how he was a heroin addict, and he overcame it, and a former gamer. And he was touching on trying to give us some solutions as to what needs to take place, not just in the area we were in, because not that area really needed it, but in the other areas, because he said that did need it, because he said what happens was there were a lot of people coming in from outside, primarily New York, coming into Wilmington, doing some damage, and it wasn't just Wilmingtonians that was doing some stuff. It was outsiders. Yeah, they call them Wilmingtonians. So he started voicing it, and actually at that time, people started connecting with him. So it grew from there to where he just started heavy hitting the pavements, interacting with other people, networking, going to events, and then started meeting with these people, sitting down with these people, and then just little things, like we.
So what got resolved? Was it all?
Well, everything. Well, that issue wanted to be resolved. Of course, now it was because like I said, this neighborhood, this side of town, that side of town. It was like, hey,
we're not playing.
We're not playing. And when you touch on, how do we get the community involved, this is what I was trying to say, as far as and I wasn't using my child, but I was using my child. Because we always say, oh, not my child. No, I'm going to say, yes, my child. Because once my child leaves my sight, I can't vouch for my child. I can only assume that when I taught my child enough, they're going to take what I taught them and just go out and say, I'm going to resist the temptation of being bullied or being teased or not. I'm not going to do that because I'm my mama. But I say to you, because we touched on the community, how do we get the community involved? And that was a thing. That part of the community is involved. See, and another thing is because they're owners, they're homeowners.
They invested.
So they invested, so they have some investment in there. And it's like, yo, you're not going to tear down, destroy mine, make my property value go down. You're not going to come in here and do that.
Because we're not renters.
Yeah, we're not renters. And there's nothing against renters. It's just that mindset. It's a different mentality, and I really don't think they dwell on it as much, because their thing is, oh, okay, if this break, I can just call my landlord. Versus a property owner is like, yo, I am the landlord.
Everything in the house is $1,000.
Yes, and like, don't do it, no, sit quiet, don't run, don't go, because they are responsible for that. So it's like, how do you get the community out? Okay, we've established that part of the community. Once they raised the stink and it was in the paper, and they made it adamant clear. For now on, when you want to start doing some stuff in this area, you need to go through this. You need to go through all the proper channels, make sure everything, sign everything. We need to see. If we don't want to go, they don't want to keep going through what they went through before, calling the police over and over again. When I call
you best believe some heads rolled.
Yes, some heads rolling. It was like, and the news people were there, and media coverage was there, and it was like, wow. And I'm sitting there listening to these people, and I was like, wow. But then you did have some outsiders. Outsiders mean from across the different parts of Wilmington.
Yeah.
And they came over and they took some of that stuff back. But it's like, how do you get the community involved? Because granted, even though that community said no, the other ones are saying no, but they're not unified. So the thing is, yes, you need to, because if you don't come together as one, they're going to keep coming in trash, and they're going to do what you don't want them to do.
You know what I think? I think ownership is key, because you got a financial and investment in the community, but there's also, when you're active in the cleanup of your community, whether you own or rent, when you're active in the activities in your community, those are other types of investment where you're less likely now to just allow anything to happen, because you got your blood, you got skin in the game.
Yeah,
your blood.
You're gardening, you're trying to paint,
and somebody come around,
and then they come and you like, yo, you put your foot down.
I clean the street, and somebody come and drop a bag.
It could be a cigarette bud.
Right, you like, the only streets I didn't, because I'm temporarily in Southwest Philadelphia, everywhere I moved, I cleaned the streets. Not the block. I mean, not my house. The block. The park next to it. The only place I won't do, I started when I first came to Southwest Philadelphia. But then I realized this is not a community that, you know, I come out and it's there, and because of that sense of investment where I felt wounded when people literally just started, and I stopped. This is the only place I ever lived as an adult where I did not do a cleanup. Now,
and it's kind of sad because it's like, I live here, and I want where I live to be, you know, to represent me. But then it's like, how do I represent me when I have others that won't even uphold the same value? Like,
or not only uphold it, but they will deface what you've done. And my thing is, I do mind you not participating. But if you don't participate, don't mess it. Don't harm.
Don't make it worse.
Don't deface it.
And I find it interesting because I used to talk about this years ago, and it's like, okay, once you trash up, the first thing they say is, well, the city or this person won't. Look at this. Like, y'all won't. Okay, so what do they do? They get some money together, they come in, they fix up your neighborhood again, and then you trash it, and then the first thing you say is the same thing you said before, is what they, and I don't know who they are, but here's the thing. How many times do you expect they to keep wanting to pour into your community when you keep disrespecting your community, which is what we touched on before they say, forget it, I'm going to go to this other community, and then now by the time you decided to get your head right and say, oh no, I'm going to take care of it, it's too late.
We like to get, when it comes to accountability, we like to hold others accountable and get very practically hold people accountable for doing this. We got specifics. We get specific. What the government should do, what white folks should do. But when it comes to accountability, we get real philosophical and abstract when it comes to ourselves. You know, we start talking about philosophical unity. We start calling philosophical chagalia. We get real, but then when they say, okay, what do you mean by that? Clean our streets. Let's go out here and clean this front. Let's go out here and invest in our businesses. And then businesses got a reciprocal responsibility, because I'm not just spending money because you black and then you keep cheating me or giving me inferior products. You know, business is business. You compete for my business. And the one that competes, who attracts me, is the one who gets my money. So don't just think that because you're a specific race or ethnic group, that I'm going to allow you to cheat me. Over and over and over again. And so the dual responsibility, consumer and those who are the manufacturers of what we consume, the residents and those who visit us, we all have a responsibility in our community. And it's not just abstract. We got to get specific about that. I'm through talking. Am I talking too much? Did she say yes?
But
she said yes, y'all.
We had some amazing guests. You touched on some beautiful stuff.
Wow, thank you.
And you know what? And it's interesting because I like I said, I do my lives. It's election time. I can't vote in Philadelphia because I'm still a Delaware resident. So no matter where it is, a vote is a vote. And I'm always adamant on people voting, and I always give them examples why. Why? Because at one point in time, we were once slaves. As slaves, we couldn't do anything without master telling us so. We couldn't even breathe if it wasn't.
And he told us not only what to do, but when to do it.
And how to do it.
And how to do it.
So once we became free, quote unquote, then it became one of those things that white women were not allowed to vote. But then they got the right to vote, but we still couldn't. Then when we got the chance, then when it was passed that we could vote, somewhere along the line, over a period of time, it became, we just want to take that for granted. The same way we take other things for granted, like school. Can't get you to go to class. It's kind of sad because as slaves, we couldn't wait to read. Master beat us, but we still couldn't wait to read.
Cut our hands off, and we still
couldn't wait to read. Now that we have it at our fingertips, we take it for granted. We don't want to read. Now we got to the point we don't want to vote. And that's kind of sad because my ancestors, I'm going to speak for mine. My ancestors fought and died for me to vote. And I'll be damned if I'm not going to honor what their blood meant for me. Their blood is still on the ground for me.
Well, yeah, I'm a little different. I think you need to give people a reason. Like.
No, there is no.
I think
I got what Anton said about enough protests in the march. And I remember when I was doing, because I did a lot of, I used to do a lot of protests and marches. And I remember we did our last one in Wilmington, Delaware. Hit the front page. We did one for Marcus Garvey. And we had all those that participated lay on the ground for 5 minutes, because apparently that's how long he laid on it. Well, I think it was a little bit longer. But they laid on the ground for 5 minutes. And a few of us just walked around to make sure everybody laid down. We took pictures and everything. And what happened was, it was like, you know, how and why, you know, and somebody made a statement that it won't do anything, protests and marches won't do it, and I'm like, you know what, you're right, protests and marches don't. Do you know the first protest and march for a black person was the Run for Freedom? That was the first protest. When someone said enough was enough, I'm out of here, and I don't know
at
how
great risk. That was risky.
I don't know how many it took before someone actually touched land of the North. But it took that very first one, I guarantee you didn't make it. Someone saw that and said, oh, F that one, I don't care, I'm still going to try. That was the very first protest, believe it or not. That was, so protests is different, because you got to remember.
It depends on the type of protest. Yeah, because some protests are futile. I think there's a purpose. The protests are very.
But you have to have a follow-up, and that was the follow-up. It's like, yo,
gotta be a follow-up.
Gotta be a follow-up. But anyway, but I always stress this is why, and then I tell them, you know, this same thing we touched on, you know, except for he hit something I didn't do, which to meet them at their door and not while they're in your door. Meet them at their home, go on their block, talk to the neighbors. Hey, I'm so like, hey, he's out here when I want to.
Because people are tired of it. What was that when we first began airing? You said okie dokie
smoky.
And I'm trying to forget you said that, but that remind me that people tired of the okie doke, and so they just dropped out of the system. They just said, I'm not voting anymore, and I feel that. I get that. And they're not going for my ancestors died for this. They said, yeah, but they can get back up if they would get back up and turn over in their graves if they saw how little the actual vote has manifested in a positive change for black folk. But now I'm not encouraging them.
One, we don't vote. And then two, it's not so much that you voted. Here's the thing. I don't want you just to register. Because somewhere along the line, they put a comma. You don't put a comma. Comma means there's something else after that. When you tell people to go out and vote, comma. What else? Not vote, comma, vote, and then, I'm sorry, not register, comma, register and vote. But then here's the comma. So then I need to make sure you're held accountable. And
after you vote, and the person get in office, then what?
Then you come. Hey, yo, how you doing? Because I remember I voted for. Remember you kid? You said you gonna do.
So traditionally, what has happened? Because I think one of the only true things Donald Trump has said.
We just sit back and be like, okay, well, I'm just going, and we forget about it.
Right. I think one of the true things, and I will defend this, that Donald Trump said. Donald Trump, if you're listening, you were right about this issue. And you know, you still whack, but you were right about this. You had 33 years, he said. You have 33 years, and what have you done? And the people are tired of it. And that's why we need brothers like Anton Moore, sisters like you. Me, I'm an independent, but I vote every election, and I don't vote simply because my ancestors died. But we need everybody doing something.
Positive. We need more of them. We need twins. We need clones of you, because you know, like
be the light you want to see in the world.
And I remember before I close this out real fast, when I lived in Bellefonte, it's the Bellefonte section of Wilmington. It was like the county part, a little uppity part of Bellefonte. There was a church down the street from me, so I went there because I couldn't go to my own car was down, and transportation, whatever. So I went there. And when I went there, I wound up being a part of the food pantry, so I would go down and volunteer, and I would leave there every week crying. And I would go back home at the time, you know, I had my boyfriend, and what's the matter? And I would tell him, and he was like, you gotta stop expecting people to be like you. Meaning, when I got there, you're talking about the most ungrateful people.
Oh, yeah, I used to work in those places.
And I'm like, yo, but we're giving you something, and something is so better than nothing. So it's like, that was my first encounter.
Well, some people got emotional issues and psychological issues.
What happened was, I had a lot of people tell me that you can't change the world. And then I had to think about it. I said, yes, I can. I can change the world. I can. All I got to do is change one person. That one person is called the ripple effect. Then they change, and then somebody else. But it has to start with one, and you have to be.
So you preaching now? Or
yeah, I'm preaching.
You begin to minister.
That's all it takes is just that.
We get ready speaking tongues up in here. He come out of see about a shunda. She's speaking now. We done got her preacher. Well, look.
But
it all comes down to what Sonia said. Everybody do something. Do what you can. We ain't worried about what you can't. Do what you can.
When I say do something, I'm not talking about standing behind. And I get it. You got drug dealers on the corner. I get it. Like, I don't want to. But okay, if you feel that intimidated that you don't, you got.
And I hate drugs. I want everybody to know that.
Like, yo, this is the time when you, even if you got a lie, I voted for you. Hell, I ain't voted for you, but I'm gonna tell you that I voted for you. And here's the thing. Your boss. And if you don't believe me, come election time, I'm gonna make sure you remember you was fired. But here's the thing. I remember when I lived in Chester, I wanted this house, but I didn't know it was a drug corner. I didn't know. I wanted the house. I liked the house. I got the house. When I got the house, I got all the issues that came with it. I was 2 blocks from the Chester police station. So the same way I am now, the same way I was then. So what had happened was, I'm on a one-way street. Sum this up real fast. I lied to you now. Every time they came outside, I would come outside. Because here's the thing, you're not going to have a party and not invite me. You're not going to sit in front of my house making no kinds of noise because I don't do it from your house. So what I would do, I would sit on my rail, look up the direction of my street, and that's all I did. I didn't say anything to them. So they would move off my step to the step next door to me. But cool, you're still here. But okay, it got to the point where one of the guys would tap the other guy and was like, okay, we got it. And the one guy, he didn't even live on the block, but he was pissed that every time I came out, everyone wanted to move. I needed my presence known. No, I'm not going to run, I'm not going to flee, but I pay rent here. So why am I going to pay rent? At least if you're not going to invite me to a party, I will crash it. And it means if I got to call 911, we're going to crash your party. So when that first, gentleman came down the street, he sat on the lady's steps. I know the street. And I know street talk. He sat there, he rolled up his blunt, and he said, hey, I don't have a problem blowing up a house with some kids. So that's all she had to do. So I'm like, when he said that, my children walked across the street to get ready to go in the store, and I'm like, yo, I hit the wall. And that's all I said. I hit the wall, and I'm like, this ain't mine. See, the thing is, I had that mentality. Like I told, eventually what I did was I wrote so many letters, and I called so many times. They didn't know that, but I was literally on first name basis with the mayor at that time, Wendell Butler, that they were talking about implementing some stuff, and they gave me direct numbers and everything that I had told that same day. I went to the police station and I told them what had happened. And I said there are too many abandoned houses. I would hang one and skin them alive. Oh, you don't mean that. For 2 weeks they rode up and down my one-way street for 2 weeks, parked up the road. So don't tell me what you can't do.
You call Philly and start complaining, man. And let me tell you.
Don't tell me what you can't do. Have you tried it and what up? Because it can be done. You just have to get on it. I was one person and I got it done.
Do you know who gets it done in Philly? And I've done it personally. Halfway houses and all this. I'm going to tell you how I got stuff done. The community advocates, the activists. The state reps, the council people, they all give me what they can't do and how they can't do it. And I call them all. And you know, I work for the media, so, you know, I figure, look, they'll get it done for me. It's always the people in the community, like the community advocates. I've never got anything substantive done through an elected official, ever. And I know them all. I got you. No offense, people. I'm just saying, I get some little stuff done from you, and, you know, I appreciate it. But the big stuff, I got to call Tracy Gordon. I got to call Marsha Wall. I got to call, you know, and we got to get together with other people. Anton Moore. That's how I get stuff done in the community. Other than that, you say, I get a council person will call my office and do the, call your office, I'm telling you. If I call Tracy Gordon, she ain't going to say call my office. She going to say call me. Look, if I call Marsha Wall, she ain't going to say I'm retired, I'm going to call my office, or, you know, she's going to say what's up. Yeah. You know, and if this is what we can do, or if I can't do anything, here's where you can go, and I'll keep me updated on what happens, and they stay involved. But it's always been community. I never got anything done for. That's why some people don't vote. I'm not advocating that. Go vote, you know. But if you don't, I understand.
Right. So